Thank you. Are you here with us now? Or somebody's voice? This is here. All right. Yeah. Okay. Good. Don't forget your water. Oh. Here we are. Oh. Okay. George Washington, birthplace. We're gonna check it out.
Don't they look like the real one?
That does look like the real one.
Today. You think this is the real wood?
Is this the original
they
fence?
Do it back and forth, and then they put them two in to make them stay.
That's pretty clever way of doing it. Oh, point
It
two.
could be, I guess.
Is this original place?
Yeah.
Original fence?
Looks like it might be. I guess. I guess. I guess. Yeah.
Original fence?
Yes, yeah.
Original fence?
Yes, yeah.
Original fence?
Yes. Yeah, it looks like it might be. Look real. Yeah, they ain't moving. It might be, I don't know. That's a long time to keep a... Now, what do you think?
Oh, wow.
Go down this way, you can get a picture there, but I don't know what's...
Oh. Where are you? Oh. Where are you? Oh. Where are you?
Grape arbor here. All the grapes, see?
Oh. Make some wine.
Yep, wine. And happened to...
Anybody out here gardening?
Like a hotel, they've got
It's a visitor center. Oh.
Can you put this in
Thank
here?
you. Is somebody here on the front porch?
This is visitor center.
Are there any Washingtons here?
Where's that? This is nothing.
Let's find out.
Visitor center. Visitor center. Visitor center.
Oh, thank you. Mary Washington too. 18th century glass. Oh, look at George.
Right at me, too.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for setting that off for me. George Washington. Oh, somebody here? Looking at spirits, ghosts that may be here.
So, here's how you get out there. We're not interrupting the tour. Now,
Here's the house.
We'll be finding more things and building more things. We'll be finding more things and building more things. We'll be finding more things and building more things.
Spirits, ghosts. Spirits, ghosts. Spirits, ghosts.
Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming.
I heard her say the house is back there. Oh, 23, 22. Mary Washington, too? Thank you for setting that off. Are you sitting here? Here.
We also have our website and a blog called Lives and Legacies for several years. We put together things in every month. Some were concentrated in Washington, and my years that almost started back in 12,000.
Thank you very much.
Our website and a blog called Lives and Legacies. We have our website and a blog called Lives and Legacies. We have our website and a blog called Lives and Legacies.
Memoir of a Revolutionary Soldier. Story of Pocahontas. Anybody here? Any spirits, ghosts would like to come up and speak with me? Please do so now. Don't mean you any harm or disrespect. Just here to make contact. Anyone, interested in whenever you're here. Don't be afraid. You don't pipe? Thank you. Did you smoke out of the pipe? See if you can set that off. It's not going to hurt you. Three. Tell me who's here with me now. Thank you. You're here for a reason. Are you lost? Do you need help? Crossing over? Over. 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 Do you know that you're in that purgatory world? I'm trying to help you. Can you tell me who's here with me now? Let me know it's the year 2021. You've been here a very long time. You need to move on. get a map. Check the grounds.
Now, it depends too on how many questions people ask and things like that, so you can't be for sure.
We'll take
but-
2 of them.
All right. I'm starting to fill up, so you can get in just in time.
Now, this is saying this is Betty, his sister, George Washington's sister, Betty, and her
Fielding
husband.
Lewis's house.
And his birthplace is where? Here?
Who, George Washington's
Yeah.
birthplace? No, it's about 30-some miles east of here if you went east.
Now, this is saying this is now. This is saying this is now. This is saying this is.
And you'll hear about Mary, on the tour definitely, in a much better version than you get in the books about George Washington. She's been greatly maligned. There are people now, thank goodness, starting to write books on her and researching her and changing some of those ideas of Washington. She's been greatly Washington. She's been greatly Washington. She's been greatly around here. We always love Mary Washington. We do everything after her, but so it upset me greatly that they said such things about her and stuff like that. But they're not here. They're writing books about George Washington. They're not going to research her, so they're just going to regurgitate what other authors wrote about her and their works.
Oh, thank you.
So this is your map for the self-guided part. I'll send you straight out to the house because we're getting pretty close to the tour time. There's supposed to be 6 more people that signed up online, but I still don't later.
He says 2:15 that starts, the other one?
Yes.
2:30, 2:15.
So I would head straight
Yeah,
over
we should
there and
get over there
hang
pretty
around a
quick.
little bit. There's supposed to be 6 more people that signed up online, but I still don't later. There's supposed to be 6 more people that signed up online, but I still don't later. There's supposed to be 6 more people that signed up online, but I still don't later.
Well, yeah, but he was only born there, and then until he was 3 years old. 3 years old.
Lived here.
He moved to another place. Right here is where he lived from 6 to 22. So, thank you. Is there any Washingtons here? Looking for anybody who is associated with George Washington? I don't even see the house he was talking about.
You see it?
I don't.
Gonna turn the light.
Oh, thank you. She said follow the...
Say one Georgia Fort. Check it out.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Looking for any members of the Washington family or association with the Washingtons. Maybe worked on the grounds. That was stables, you think? This is the short shaded area she was talking about.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that might be an original building. With some modern amenities added to it. Yes. Thank you so much. Are you a member of the Washington family? Can you tell us
Sister Betty and
who's here with us? Oh, that thing is rocking. Yes. 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 Are you his mother or his father? Sister? Really interested to know who's here with us. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to get a tour of the house. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not sure if you're supposed to be here. Headphone, you should be somewhere else. There's the three-chimney house. There's the archaeologist over there that she was talking about.
Over there,
Mm-hmm.
the tent thing.
Mm-hmm.
The tent thing.
Mm-hmm.
The tent thing.
Mm-hmm.
The tent thing.
So if you speak real loud and clear, we're going to get a tour of the house. You're going to have to talk loudly so we can hear you. The windows are falling down. This little run-down building. Oh, thank you. What is that, like the mother-in-law suite?
I guess. Looks about like it, right?
Is this where the original house stood? Look. That's how they know. See, there's like a little foundation wall here.
Oh yeah, that would be,
Down here.
I don't know about this thing here, I don't know.
Is this? Is this? Is this? Any Washingtons here? Are you still here? Would you like to...
other hat that covers my neck. Get the tour.
Oh, right on time, 2:15.
If anybody's out there, come on in. It's air conditioned in here.
I think there's a party at 6 coming in.
Yeah, people are, we may have as many as 16. I'm just not having people wait outside today.
Right.
Too hot.
Oh, it is too hot.
Too hot. Well, I think I covered, we were talking about bathing and how you keep cool. I think I've exhausted that. Does anybody have any questions right now? I try not to avoid repeating, so I'd like to do the core of the script, so to speak, when we're all here. Although, yeah, and it's actually time to start. By the way, I have been known to go overtime. If you are on a tight schedule, let me know. So he was born in Westmoreland County at a farm commonly called Wakefield. He grew up here at what is commonly called Ferry Farm. The Washingtons would have called it the home farm, by the way. The Ferry Farm is owing to the fact that there was a ferry road and a ferry on their property. It was publicly owned and it was free. They seem to have regarded it as a little bit of a nuisance. A lot of people on their property. And of course, his adult home and his burial place is Mount Vernon. All three were owned by his father.
Oh. Didn't know that.
The iron ore deposits can be found in all the land bordering Chesapeake Bay. A company has been formed with headquarters in England and Maryland called the Principio Company, and Augustine opens an iron furnace at Accokeek Creek a little north of here. The technology is somewhat primitive. You can make money, but if you're not careful, it can blow up. North of here. North of here. North of here.
Oh,
So I'm guessing Augustine wants to visit that on a regular basis. I'm sure he has a competent overseer. But this is very close. That's just maybe an hour or two ride. Much closer than Little Hunting Creek. Second, this farm is more or less halfway between the two larger farms.
Right.
Colonial Virginia had a law that if you wanted to sell your tobacco overseas, and that's the only reason you grow it, so you can sell it for money overseas, you must have it officially inspected for quality at a designated warehouse and imported. So he moves here, and George will live here from age 6 until his early 20s. This is where George became George, as we like to put it. Number one, and just for fun, I'm going to throw this out. I could save time by not. Let's imagine you have friends over for dinner tonight. They knock on your front door. You know them well. Come on in, make yourselves at home. What will you say to them if they just walk into your bedroom without invitation or announcement?
What are you doing?
Please don't do that. The subclause for Virginia gentry is it may be the man's castle, but the woman of the house is the empress.
Yes.
Her word is law in this house. You probably don't get in if she doesn't want you in here. It's just part of that practicality. Now, so Mary lived here from 1738 until 1772. Are they still drinking tea?
Oh, tea.
Coffee?
There you go.
Yeah, coffee. Coffee
The
beans.
Boston Tea Party occurs in December 1773. In case you're wondering what all the fuss was about, for 8 years since the Stamp Act, the colonists have been telling the Parliament, we don't care if you're in charge with the defense of the empire. Magna Carta stated way back in 1215 that free-born Englishmen cannot be taxed without their consent, and we are not represented in your parliament. We are taxed by our colonial legislatures. You want to tax us, you go through Williamsburg.
Wow.
And so you talk about how culture has its strange twists and turns. Patriotic Americans drank coffee during the Revolution. It's a habit Americans have more or less kept ever since.
Yeah.
The famous good night phrase, good night, sleep tight. See the ropes? See the twisty thing? Now, I'm not supposed to do this, but we're going to bend the rule. All of the ropes, all of the beds in this house are rope beds.
Mm-hmm.
The mattresses are supported by a grid of ropes.
Mm-hmm.
This is to tighten the ropes before you go to bed, because if you don't do that every other night or so, the bed is literally going to fall apart on you. Sleep tight was a reassurance originally, but we still say sleep tight is kind of a synonym for have a nice rest.
Right.
How about don't let the bed bugs fight?
You shouldn't have done that because you're going to get another story now, but it is relevant.
Oh, it is relevant.
I want you to imagine for a moment that the president is going to make a trip overseas. You know what that means, right? Overseas. 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 George Washington was very concerned when he became president in 1789 to fulfill the goal of the Constitution to form a more perfect union. So he said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make goodwill tours of the states. First the northern states, the southern states. By the way, if you're wondering why he did the northern states first, it's because North Carolina did not ratify the Constitution until Congress had passed the Bill of Rights. So it would have been a little awkward to, oh, by the way, North Carolina, you're not quite in the Union yet, but I have to pass through to get to South Carolina. And when they were ready to stop for the night, they would simply stop in front of a likely-looking tavern. The footman would go inside, make inquiries, and he was ordered to inspect every bed for lice. Bed bugs. If he came back out and gave thumbs down, they just got back in and went to the next tavern until they found one they were happy with.
There you go, there's your bed bug.
You know, I'm not. By the way, I'm not knocking the current security. I mean, it is a big job, but the contrast is so striking. George lost his father 5 years after they moved here. His father came down with either a stomach or a lung infection. Nobody's quite sure. This is so striking. This is so striking. This is so striking. George's future is somewhat in doubt. Let's just leave it at that and go into the hall. By the way, this is the we would call this master bedroom. The Washingtons called it the hall back. It's behind the hall. This is the back of the house. The front is facing the river in the town. So let's go into the hall and the hall. This is the back of the house and the hall. This is the back of the house and the hall. This is the back of the house.
You wanted to. All right, Washington's here. Are the caretakers? Thank you for setting that off.
Now, I know the Americans are kind of freewheeling, but literally, if George and his siblings and their little friends were going to try to play this
Thank you so much.
This is the formal
Are
room.
you
It's
Washington?
probably
Are you
spotless.
George Washington's
The
father?
hall is the dining room.
Two? Are two? Are two? Are at all?
Now,
At all? At all?
in this room. For the record, I'm insanely jealous of this escritoire, as it's called. It's a French word. You'll notice you've got a writing desk, a filing cabinet on my phone. I wish I had that thing, even though the writing desk is a little tall. So apparently George's father decided he wanted to do his business paperwork and probably his negotiations in this room. So what happens to the family when father dies? He's about 49. His widow, his second wife, by the way, he had been married once before. George has two older half-brothers, Lawrence and Augustine Jr. She's 35. For whatever reason, she does not remarry. Without father, the family loses control of the iron furnace at Accokeek. Augustine's will assigns the two largest farms to his oldest sons, the half-brothers. Lawrence gets Running Creek. Augustine Jr. gets Wakefield in this room. So not remarried. Now, literally, if you want to imagine the people across the river, when the word of the will gets out, are saying around their dinner table something like, "Oh, that's where George Washington will never amount to anything. He only has 600 acres to his name. He'll never make any real money." He had added over 5,000 acres to Mount Vernon.
Wow.
Somewhere near 8,000 acres. He had literally tripled its size. He had also more than doubled the size of the original 1.5-story house.
Wow.
I think we mentioned some of you early covers had a cupola that sort of helped with their, next best thing to air conditioning and electricity. But that's in the future. At age 14, but the fireplace is huge because that's where they'll keep Mormon toasty on winter days, where they could cook if there was a big blizzard and they couldn't get to the kitchen, and all sorts of family events occur in that room, and we're going to discuss those. So, if you're ready, let's go. Oh, by the way, occur in that room, and we're going to discuss those. So, occur in that room, and we're going to discuss those. So, occur in that room, and we're going to discuss those. So. If you're an antiquarian or architecture interests you, this replica house is built on the footprint of the original. Part of the original foundation still survives. We have sort of a little bit of what's left of the root cellar, and there's a little opening with a little glass protector. And this house, we are certain was built in the 1720s by Strother or built for him. And so that's why the house was already here. Augustine added the back.
Thank you. Here, we just want to wait until you get done telling us a little bit about you. 1.6. That's fantastic that you're doing that. Is this Mary? This is George Washington's father. 6.2. Thank you very much. Thank you, see? You can use these devices to talk, communicate. Is this man? Is this man? Is this? Alright, so we're going to come up here and take a picture. Now, if you want to set that stuff off, you may do so. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Can you tell me who's here with me? You're one of the Washingtons? Did you work with one of the Washingtons? Anything you can say or do? Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. My name is Wes. Can you tell me who your name is? Who am I speaking to? Did you work for the Washingtons? Thank you. I really appreciate that. Were you one of the farmhands? Thank you so much. See? You can do things to affect this world. Just want to take a couple of pictures if you don't mind. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Do you see the angels around me? Thank you so much. I'm going to have to leave here soon, but I would like to help you. I've got a cool breeze on my face and it's hot. Thank you. Do you know you have to ask for forgiveness? I'm sure that. I'm sure that. I'm sure that. You're in a place called purgatory, which means you're between the physical world where I'm at and the spiritual world of heaven. Although you're a spirit, you don't have your full capabilities yet. So you're not done yet. And we'll go through the museum. Is anybody on these grounds? What did you used to farm here? I don't mean you any harm. Very hot, however.
Did it work then?
It froze up when we were over at the archaeological place.
Oh, back there? Oh, the,
Does it do that quite a bit?
No, not really at all.
oh. Somebody don't want you taking pictures?
Over there, maybe, yeah.
Huh?
Maybe over
A
there.
little bit left in here too.
They said something about the train.
Well, if you've been talking to me, I want to thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Is somebody here?
Oh.
Maybe somebody used to work on this property?
So much history,
Yeah.
you know?
There's,
And you know people passed here.
thank you. You're still trying to find your buildings. Thank you. Is somebody here on the trail with us? Can you tell us anything about the Washingtons? We're interested to learn about their history and your history, if you're somebody different. Just
Well.
speak into these devices.
Could be Indians from these hills too, I don't know.
History is history, right? We don't know how far back.
Yeah.
We're different.
Mhm.
They're different.
Mhm.
They're different.
Mhm. Yeah.
Could be slaves or.
Could be dinosaurs. Could be troglodytes. You know that one called herself troglodytes when they dug inside the thing.
I do.
I can get down there, but coming up's gonna be
I didn't take the stairs. That
rough.
looked like too much work. I just came up the
on my
hill.
legs. And it's getting hot too.
What kind of crops did you have here? What did you farm for?
Go to Oregon and chop down cherry trees.
Has George Washington ever come here to visit?
This was his
That's where he grew up.
his sister. Who was this? Mary.
Betty? Mary's his
Oh, Betty.
mother. Betty's
Mary.
his sister.
This is Betty. Betty's her husband. I know I heard 11 children. I thought it was. He's talking about Mary being so stern and like that.
It's kind of weird to have the camera do that. It's the first time that's ever happened. It just froze on the screen. I couldn't, no matter what button I pushed, it wouldn't go off.
Now it's going.
I had to take the battery out, put the battery back in, and I was going again. So
And then did it come back on?
yeah. That's ever happened. It just froze. Ever happened. It just froze. Ever happened. It just froze. Oh, that's a bathroom. We don't need to see the bathroom. Grass smells good. Did you used to like the smell of freshly cut grass?
I do. I smell it. I smell it too. I like it.
Trying to sit a little bit.
Okay, 3:32.
Yeah, it went off a lot in there.
In here.
In the house.
Yeah, in the house.
And then, oh, thank you.
Yeah, in the house.
My name is Wes. I'm trying to tell them they're in like a purgatory world. So you're kind of trapped in between worlds.
Yeah, I wouldn't use that word. That's like a Catholic word.
I don't know what else to call
Well,
it.
in between.
You're in the
This
between
realm
world.
and the next realm. The realm. In between realms. This
Yeah.
realm and the heavenly realm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's nothing impure to make it into heaven. That's what makes heaven heaven.
Yes. Heaven.
102.
Is it? Told you it's hot. Probably should have cooled it after. No, it's supposed to be
Yeah.
to 90.
Not cool here. It's going to be cool in here though.
Yeah.
He's got a passion for it, you can tell. Oh. Thank you. Oh, he's one of those people, got a lot of information. Thank you for setting that off. Can you tell me who's in here with me now? My name is Wes. I don't mean you any harm. Washingtons around here? Is Mary around here? Appreciate if you talk to us. Don't be afraid to talk to us. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Oh, look at all this stuff. This is what they found out there?
Bones found around the slave quarters.
These are the bones of slaves?
Slave quarters. Wig crawlers. Here's the wig crawlers. Crawl the wigs.
Thank you.
Crawl the wigs.
Are you one of the slaves?
Symbol. They found a symbol. Personal enjoyment or joy. They look like toys.
Fantastic, you were able to set that off with you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's Mary.
Can you tell me who that is doing that? Are you one of the slaves? Or indentured servants? Thought I heard a voice. 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 Here's the Washington family tree. Did you know who the Washingtons were? Let's take a picture of this. Walk those roads. Setting that off. See if I can. Walk those roads. Walk those roads. Walk those roads. See if I can. See if I can. See if I can. There's a store here. said is he will be into decent behavior.
Listen.
One of the things that Mary used to read to the kids, George.
Oh, rules and civility.
Type of thing. So those were funny. What amazes me in the stories, you see all this stuff they went through that was so awful and not much support from people and
Right.
that sort of thing. And then I think it's near the end, they're all excited, everybody's running around saying, John Washington is coming by camp, and they're all going to run so they can see him. I think it's... See, there we go. Okay, I've got that. This happens to be, yeah, it does. This wasn't working earlier, but now it's working, so, but my printer's not working, and they've been taking turns, things not working today. Maybe it doesn't like the heat either. Okay, so I've got the Ferry Farm Tea Rules of Civility, Memoir of a Wrecked Soldier, and Tax Code 3464 all together.
We got
Okay,
it
take it
stuck
out.
around pretty good.
Yeah.
Thought I was going to see.
Farm, fair farm. You put them in your drawers to make
You're
sure.
making stuff here?
That
Are you
is
in one of
what
those
I
too?
was too. The trouble getting the bags to separate from each other.
One of those days.
Yeah, it's been crazy. This thing has been...
We're getting ready to leave. I appreciate it. You said anything to me this evening, today, in the house. Beautiful little farm.
Very much so. That does, that's
That's what's on here anyway.
$350.
Ooh, house small
Oh,
farm.
it's for how many?
That was the phone.
Yeah.
4 or 5 of them?
Yeah.
All right, I'm getting ready to leave. If you said anything, thank you. Good to ask for forgiveness. Pray. I'm trying to guide you. Don't worry, everything will be okay. Family's waiting for you. Don't be afraid.
And talking about, why they were doing what they were doing.
That's supposed to be part of their purpose is to educate. Yeah, and they are definitely looking for things, but I love having them out there because I get some extra things for people to see and talk to them and learn. We're building more things all the time. We're definitely looking for things, but we'll talk to them and learn. Here, from 6 until 20, we have this property. Now there were no buildings.
Thank you, George. We're leaving, yep, we're leaving now.
Now there were no buildings.
Thank you.
That sure feels
We're
like,
leaving.
that sure feels like Kim.
Thank you for talking with us today. We really appreciate it. We look forward to whatever you had to say to us. Yeah, we have to go. typically what happens, it goes off a lot, either thanking us for talking to them,
Yeah, see?
or they're asking us to stay longer. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. We have to go. We have to find our campsite. Thank you so much. We'll listen for you. Hear what you had to say. Thank you. Following us all the way out here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's a big magnolia.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love the smell of them.
Thank you.
The
We
smell,
have to go though.
I had a couple magnolia candles. It smells beautiful.
Thank you. Hope we're able to help you. Thank you again. And it's pumped you out the door.
That's I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been on purpose.
No, I know. Okay. More goodies.
More goodies.
Whew. Get that air conditioner cooking.
Got it going. Alright, shut this off.
Whew.